Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham, and appreciate everybody for submitting their questions on our mailbag call on the community tab. Usually we do our weekly live shows on Mondays where we answer all your questions, but this week with the trade deadline hectic stuff, we didn't go live, but that is where we normally answer your questions, so appreciate everybody who submitted their questions this time around. Let's start with DaBaby69 God. What a name. How much of an impact do you think Kadarius Toney will have on this offense? I don't necessarily expect a huge role early on within the offense, to be honest with you, DaBaby. You've got a deep wide receiver room. Kadarius Toney has probably had 3 real practices, if that. Now, he's had a little extra time to study the playbook because the Chiefs were on bye week when they added him, but I don't think he's going to come in there and play 50 snaps on offense and get 10 targets or anything crazy. I think he'll play 15 to 20% of the snaps on offense and get some special teams run early on, and then that role will build from there. I am hoping he'll be the punt returner. I've mentioned that a couple of times, and it sounds like they are giving him a look there. Sky Moore has been handling those duties, but he has 2 muffed punts, and he hasn't really given you much there anyway. I think Kadarius Toney is a guy that could give you some more pop at that spot, so I would certainly be intrigued to see him back there. And then a little bit on offense, some gadget plays, maybe some wide receiver screens. But, again, I don't think they're just going to throw him to the wolves early on. He's going to have to, A, earn it, and B, work his way up to that, having learning in a new offense, obviously. Now, who long-term, like let's say a month from now, will have a bigger role, 6 weeks from now? Beyond the season, maybe even more because Hardman's a free agent. Type KD for Kadarius Toney. Type MH for Mecole Hardman. Who do you guys think, say, a month from now will have a bigger role on this offense? Brandon Stoll, do you think we need everyone else on defense to stop the run against Derrick Henry because of Frank Clark's suspension? I mean, Frank Clark being out as a whole is obviously a loss. It's not a massive loss, but you are thin on the defensive line in a couple of different spots. And look, Clark or not, Derrick Henry is a handful. I mean, he's been balling out as of late for the Tennessee Titans. I believe AFC Player of the Month, right? I think that's right. He absolutely went crazy for Tennessee over this past month, and Ryan Tannehill's been banged up. We'll see what his status is, but either way, they're going to run the football a ton. He'll be a handful on Sunday. He's had some big games against the Chiefs in the past. Chiefs have also held their own against him in the past, so we'll see how this one plays out. But Derrick Henry's always a tough battle. I think it'll be important to, put an extra body in the box to help bring him down because we know how he can break tackles. And speaking of this game, subscribe and join us on Sunday night as we will be live for a Chiefs versus Titans watch party. Kickoff's at 7:20 Central. We'll probably go live about 7 o'clock. Get you ready for kickoff, and then, we'll have other festivities, drink some beers, and break down this one. Should be a lot of fun. SSA Invincible, maybe we could re-sign JuJu and run with JuJu, Toney, MVS, Moore, and see if Justin Ross could be receiver 5. Strong group of guys talent-wise for next year. Again, Justin Ross, we'll see if he ever becomes a factor. I think he's like icing on a cake. If you have it, cool. If not, you weren't really expecting it anyway. So that's kind of my take on him. But when you look at the receiver core now, JuJu's a free agent. Mecole Hardman is a free agent. We will see what they decide to do with those two. I think Justin Watson is as well. I actually like Watson as like a wide receiver 4 or 5. JuJu and Hardman, though, those are going to be the 2 names to watch in free agency. What will Brett Veach decide to do with those 2? I mean, JuJu, the way he's been performing as of late, he might get some real money. I mean, he might get $15 million per year on a new contract, maybe even more if he has this monster season that he could be on pace to having here. So we'll see what happens. Do you guys think JuJu will be back? Will the Chiefs re-sign him? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Will Kansas City re-sign JuJu Smith-Schuster? I'd like to see it, but the price tag might get too hefty. Predict it for us down in the comments. BetUS, the place to go to bet on all NFL games. You can bet on the World Series. You can bet on the NBA, college football, whatever it is. Go to chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Use the promo code Chiefs125 to get 125% deposit bonus. Put down $100. They'll give you an additional $125 to bet on. Randolph Wilkinson, should we trade Mecole or re-sign him? If we trade, what's his value? What kind of contract could he command in the open market? Well, trade deadline's passed, so if you trade him, it would have to be some sort of tag and trade offseason situation, which I don't think Mecole Hardman's a franchise tag candidate whatsoever. So it's either let him walk or re-sign him. You look at what he's done this year. I don't think the lack of volume tells the story. There's been some times where he's been open and Mahomes just hasn't seen him or hasn't made a good throw. That's happened a couple times that I can think of specifically. They've started to use him on those end arounds, had a couple of rushing TDs in his last game. 5 total touchdowns in 7 games. You like that. You would just like to see him get more touches overall. Now, I said this when the trade happened. I'll say it again. Once you traded for Kadarius Toney, if he works out, like if they see enough from him the rest of this year, I think Mecole Hardman's probably gone. He's probably just a cap casualty, like, hey, thank you for your 4 years. You did some good things, but we're going to let you sign elsewhere. Because some team will probably overpay for him because he's a 4.3 40 guy. He's explosive. Some team out there will give him over $10 million, I would guess. And the Chiefs probably won't be that team, especially if Kadarius Toney proves to work out. Tony Fuentes, what are the chances the Chiefs will win the West? I know we will, but we do have to put up with the Chargers. Yeah, Tony, I mean, it is kind of a 2-team race at this point. Barring something unforeseen based on what we've seen, Denver and Vegas, put a stick and fork in them. They're done, at least in the AFC West, probably period in the playoff picture. Chargers lingering at 4-3, but you've already beaten them head-to-head, and they don't look great anyway. Chiefs are heavy favorites right now. The betting odds suggest that. The eye test suggests that. This team is clearly the team to beat in the AFC West. What's new? It's like clockwork in this division year in and year out. But not over yet. Chargers still have something to say. They could beat the Chiefs in the second head-to-head matchup, and if that happens, that would certainly even things up a little bit. Who is going to win the AFC West? Type KC for the Chiefs, or you can type LAC for the LA Chargers. What do you guys think? Who will win the division? Or DN for the Broncos, LV for the Raiders? I mean, I know Raider fans watch our videos sometimes, and hey, appreciate you watching, but y'all are not going to win the division. So KC for the Chiefs or LAC for the Chargers. Appreciate all of your questions here on today's Chiefs Report. If you didn't get onto today's mailbag, apologies, couldn't get to all of your questions. We will get to you guys next time. Remember, subscribe and join us for our watch party on Sunday night. Chiefs, Titans, we'll have you covered for that. Our normal live shows every Monday, 3 o'clock Central Time as well. You can catch us on those shows. And you can just catch us in general with daily videos. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. I am your host, Harrison Graham. We will see you next time here on the Chiefs Report.